Hello boys and girls, how are you? Give me a thumbs up if you're feeling great. Well, I'm out on a walk and I'm really enjoying it. It's been great. I'm about halfway right now, on my way home. I can see the moon. It's just behind me. There it is. Not quite a full moon. Whoa, there it is. Not quite a full moon. It will be a full moon in a couple of days. In front of me, the sun has just set and it was really beautiful this evening. Well, what a week we've had in school. We've been able to open back up and you younger boys and girls have come back after months of being at home, and what a great thing that is. We're really glad to see you. And you older boys and girls who are still at home, we're so grateful and impressed at how hard you're working online. Keep it up. You're doing really, really well. And soon, hopefully, we'll see you back in school as well. There's no way we could have opened school unless everybody did their bit, worked hard, tried hard, helped one another. So much to organise. And I needed everybody to help me. Teachers, teaching assistants, cooks in the kitchen, not cooking yet, but getting things ready. Supervisors at breakfast time and dinner time. Mr. Williams in the office, crossing patrol, and lots of other people as well, all helping one another. And I want to tell you a story about some people who helped someone else. Jesus had just come from visiting lots of villages around about where he lived. And he'd been helping lots of people. He'd been healing people, teaching people. But now he was back in his hometown, Capernaum, right next to the lake. And when everyone heard that Jesus was back, they all wanted to see him. The news got around as to which house he was staying at, and people started coming to visit. It was okay for the first few. The door was opened. Yes, in you come. Why not? No problem at all. Take a seat. Soon all the seats were filled. Soon all the rooms were full. Soon you could barely open the door. Forget the windows. There was no room for anybody to come in. It was jam-packed. No social distancing going on there, I can assure you. Well, there were still some people that wanted to come to see Jesus. One of them was a man who hadn't walked for years. He was crippled. And he wanted to see Jesus to see if Jesus could help him, heal him, make him walk again. But how would he get there? Well, he had 4 friends, faithful friends. And the 4 friends actually thought of him when Jesus turned up in the village. And they said, hey, we want to take you to Jesus to see if he can help you. Oh, this was great news. And so he lay down on his mat and the 4 friends grabbed a corner each and carried it all the way through the streets of the village until they came to the house where Jesus was. But when they got there, of course, they were so disappointed. There was no way of getting inside. Would they give up? Turn away? No way. They really were determined to help their friend. Now the houses in that place, they had stairs on the outside going up to a flat roof. And the 4 friends, they carried their mate on his mat up the outside stairs until they came to the flat roof above. But of course they were still outside and Jesus was inside. So what would they do? Well, I wouldn't recommend it, but they started to break apart the roof. First of all, a little hole. The hole grew bigger and bigger. Inside the house, they must have noticed. Surely someone, the owner of the house, must have shouted, "Hi, what are you doing? Stop that right now!" But they didn't stop. They carried on. The hole got bigger and bigger. In fact, it got man-sized. And the 4 friends, they attached rope to the corners of the mat and they lowered their friend down into the room where Jesus was. Jesus turned to the man. Everybody silent, waiting to see what would happen. And he said to him something really unexpected. He said, your sins, the things you've done wrong, I forgive them. Now, some of the people in the room were really religious, and they started thinking, hey, who does Jesus think he is? Only God can forgive sins. Does he think he's God? Well, because he was God, he knew what they were thinking. And he said to them, I know what you're thinking. What do you think it's easier for me to say to this man? Get up, you're healed, or your sins are forgiven. To show you that I have the power to forgive his sins, watch this. And he turned to the man and he said, man, young man, get up, you are healed. And strength came to his legs, and he was able to get up. He stood on his feet. He rolled up the mat. He'd come with his back on the mat, but he left with the mat on his back. He was so glad. And of course, outside the house, he pushed his way through. He met his 4 friends. You can just imagine how big were the thank yous to them. He couldn't have done it without help. We couldn't have opened the school without help. And boys and girls, we all need help from others sometimes. So this week, next week, older boys and girls, when you come back to school, that's the kind of friend I want you to be. Helpful. Help those who need your help. Be helpful. Thank you.